Welcome back to the Business Book Club. We're the place you come to for, well, deep dives into essential reads for entrepreneurs, for professionals aiming high.
And today, we're tackling a really impactful one, Grant Cardone's The 10X Rule, the only difference between success and failure. It's definitely made some waves.
It really has. So our mission here is to unpack its core idea, which is pretty bold. Success isn't luck. It's basically guaranteed if you operate at, well, these 10X levels.
Both in how you think and what you actually do. It applies whether you're, just starting out or already established.
Exactly. And this whole deep dive is really about the kind of discipline, that non-negotiable focus you need for those extraordinary results Cardone talks about.
And that first big idea, the one that sort of sets the tone, Cardone argues success isn't some special gift. It's not your education, not even raw talent.
Okay, so what is it then?
It's discipline, purely a discipline. He says it's available to anyone, doesn't matter where you start, if you're willing to apply it.
That really changes the game, doesn't it? Kind of removes all the excuses right off the bat.
It does. So the whole thing rests on these two big pillars. They work together. You've got the 10X thinking, which is about your goals.
Leaders' goals, right?
Exactly, massive goals. And then you've got 10X action. That's the effort side. You absolutely need both.
Right, makes sense. Like huge goals, but normal effort. You're just dreaming.
Or massive effort, but tiny goals. You're working super hard, but for what? Just spinning your wheels.
Okay, let's break down the effort part first. 10X action. What does that really mean in practice?
It means doing 10 times the activity. 10 times what seems normal, 10 times what everyone else is doing.
And Cardone uses his own story, right? Like back in his sales days.
Yeah, he hammers this. For every call, every meeting, every presentation his colleagues made, he was out there making 10 times the volume.
Wow. Okay, but is it just about volume? Or is there something else going on?
Well, the volume serves a critical purpose. He says the main reason massive action is vital is to overcome obscurity.
Obscurity, meaning people just don't know you exist.
Exactly. Most businesses, most careers, they don't fail because the product or service is bad. They fail because nobody knows about them. They're invisible.
So massive action is how you get seen, how you cut through all the noise out there.
Precisely. It's the discipline needed to generate that attention.
Okay, but if you're taking that much action, maybe you hit your goals really fast. Don't you risk just stopping, getting comfortable?
Ah, good point. And that leads straight into the second pillar, 10X thinking. The goals themselves have to be massive too.
So not just increase sales by 10%, but multiply them.
10 times higher. Set targets 10 times bigger than what you first thought was possible, or even, what seems reasonable.
And he admits he messed this up himself, right? Didn't set his own sights high enough early on.
Yeah, he's quite open about it, calls it his biggest mistake. Setting targets too low actually limited his potential for years.
So the idea is aim ridiculously high.
Yes, because he argues you're actually better off failing at a huge 10X target than succeeding easily at a small, realistic one.
Okay, explain that. How is failing better?
Because that massive target forces you to operate differently. It pushes your creativity, builds momentum, keeps you hungry. You don't hit some small goal and then just coast.
That makes sense. You avoid complacency. And this connects to the big mistakes people make, the things that hold them back.
Directly. He lists 4 main ones. First, people miss target. They just set their goals way, way too low.
Okay, number 1. What's next?
2, they massively underestimate the action needed, the resources, the sheer effort, the time it'll take.
They think it'll be easier than it is. Common trap.
Very. Third, they aim to compete within the market instead of aiming to dominate it entirely. Big difference in mindset.
Compete versus dominate. Got it. And the last one.
Number 4, they underestimate the adversity, the resistance, the problems, the setbacks they will face. It's never a smooth ride.
That underestimation thing feels really key. He says something about underestimating every project he's ever done.
Yeah, he says basically double, triple, maybe even 10x the resources you initially estimate. Time, energy, money, you'll always need more. So a 10x target isn't crazy. It's almost realistic planning for the actual effort.
Wow. Okay, so that level of intensity needs a strong belief system behind it. This brings us to the philosophy part, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You have to fundamentally shift how you view success. It's not just a nice to have. Cardone says you have to treat it as a duty.
A duty.
An obligation, even a responsibility. It's not optional. It's vital.
That sounds intense, like There's a moral weight to it. He even calls failing unethical, doesn't he?
He does, and yeah, it's aggressive. It can sound harsh, especially if you're thinking about work-life balance or just wanting a comfortable life.
Right. Is he saying that's unethical?
His framing is about potential and survival. Failing to strive for abundant success is, in his view, unethical because you're not living up to your potential and you're not fully securing the future for your family, your team, your company.
So success equals expansion, and standing still is actually shrinking.
That's the core idea. Growth isn't just good, it's necessary for survival. Stagnation leads to decline. It's an offensive strategy against, well, entropy.
Okay, I see the logic, even if it's demanding. And adopting that means rejecting average.
Completely. The book slams the idea of average, calls it a failing formula, makes you vulnerable. He points to the middle class as the group most at risk because it's often built on this just enough thinking.
Just enough leaves no room for error, no buffer when things go wrong.
Exactly. Hit a bit of turbulence, and just enough suddenly isn't enough at all. It leads to pain, uncertainty.
And part of rejecting average is also rejecting this idea that success is limited. Like there's only so much to go around.
Yes, the shortage myth. That's a huge one. This belief that if someone else succeeds, it somehow takes away from your potential success, like pie.
But success isn't a pie, is it?
Not at all. It's created. It comes from ideas, creativity, persistence, things that aren't finite. There's no limit. Someone else winning doesn't mean you lose. It should actually fuel you.
Okay, so reject average, reject the shortage myth. What's the ultimate mindset shift here?
It's taking total, absolute responsibility.
For everything,
Yeah.
even stuff that seems outside your control.
Yes, that's the radical core. Success doesn't just happen to you. It happens because of you. You have to adopt the view that whatever occurs in your world, good or bad, you caused it somehow.
Whoa, okay, that's a lot. Give us that power outage example he uses. That clarifies it.
Right, so the power goes out, the average person blames the utility company, the storm, whatever. They're a victim of circumstances.
Okay, standard reaction.
The 10X person thinks differently. They think, the power is out because of me, because I didn't arrange for a backup generator. They take ownership, even for external events.
Why? How does that help?
Because it shifts the focus from blame to control. If you caused it by not preparing, you can also solve it by taking action, getting that generator, finding alternatives. It puts you back in the driver's seat, focused on solutions, not complaints.
That's a powerful reframe. Okay, so if that's the engine, total responsibility, what does the actual driving look like? How does this translate into different levels of action?
He breaks it down into 4 degrees, and most people, he says, get stuck in the first 3.
Okay, lay them out for us.
First degree, do nothing, just coasting, maybe making excuses. Surprisingly takes energy to maintain.
Second.
Retreat. This is actively moving backward, like giving up on job hunting and filing for benefits because it seems too hard, avoiding perceived failure by shrinking.
Got it. Third.
Normal levels of action. This is what most people do. It creates that average, comfortable, but ultimately vulnerable life we talked about.
And the fourth. That's the goal.
That's massive action. The only level, Cardone argues, that actually guarantees success and breaks through obscurity. It's the level where you're constantly creating new problems for yourself.
Good problems, though. Like too much business.
Exactly. Too many leads, too much demand, running out of stock. Problems created by growth, not stagnation.
And this relentless action leads to that idea of domination, not just competition.
Yes. Competing means you're always looking sideways, reacting to what others do. It limits your thinking. Domination means you set the pace. You operate on a whole different level, aiming for like immunity in your field.
Immunity. Interesting. How do you get there? He talks about only practices.
Right. Doing the things that your competitors refuse to do, the things they think are too hard, too unnecessary, or maybe even crazy.
Can you give an example?
Sure. The book mentions his team ramping up social media posts, emails, outreach by 10x. Even when some people complained or unsubscribed, peers might say, whoa, back off.
But they didn't.
No, they doubled down, ignored the minor friction, and focused on the massive attention and market share they were gaining. That's an only practice pushing hard when others pull back. That's dominating.
Okay, and this ties into another counterintuitive idea. Go all in and overcommit. He flips the usual advice, doesn't he?
Yeah, totally flips it. Forget under-promise and over-deliver. He says that's weak average thinking. The 10x rule is overcommit and over-deliver.
Make huge promises. Sounds risky.
It is, but the idea is that making those massive, almost scary commitments forces you to find a way. It compels you to operate at 10x levels just to deliver. It sparks creativity under pressure.
So you commit before you know exactly how you'll do it.
Yes. Commit first, figure out later. He argues that waiting until you have everything perfectly lined up, all the answers, means you'll miss the boat. The opportunity passes. True problem solving happens after you're fully committed.
That takes guts. And inevitably, when you're making those big commitments, taking massive action, fear is going to show up.
Absolutely. But Cardone reframes fear completely. It's not a stop sign. It's actually a go sign.
A go sign. How?
Fear indicates you're pushing boundaries, moving in the right direction, doing something significant. The only thing to really fear, he says, is not feeling fear, because that means you're stuck in your comfort zone, playing it safe. Average.
He has that acronym for FEAR, right?
Yeah. False events appearing real. It highlights that most of what we fear doesn't actually materialize, especially not as badly as we imagine.
We've all been there. Dreading a difficult conversation, putting it off.
And letting the fear build, that's the crucial mistake. His strategy for fear is simple. Act immediately.
Don't give it time to grow.
Exactly. Whatever you fear doing, making that tough call, starting that big project, that's the very thing you need to do right now. Hesitation feeds fear. Action starves it.
This aggressive, action-first approach must really shine during tough times like economic downturns.
Oh, absolutely. Cardone sees downturns not as crises, but as massive opportunities.
How so? When everyone else is cutting back.
Precisely because everyone else is cutting back.
Right.
When others are panicking, retreating, that's degree 2 or 3 action. The 10x rule demands you expand, never contract.
Okay, but wait. If your business is genuinely struggling in a recession, how can you just expand? Doesn't that require deep pockets? Is this only for big players?
It's a fair question. His own example from 2008 is instructive, though maybe requires a certain level of control. He says he cut his own salary significantly and plowed that money directly back into promotion, advertising, expanding his team's actions. He went on offense while competitors were hunkering down defensively.
So he used the retreat of others to grab market share?
Exactly. Market share was essentially on sale because others were scared. He chose personal discomfort to maintain an offensive posture, putting pressure on competitors when they were most vulnerable.
That is definitely not average behavior. It highlights that need for continuous learning, too, and embracing discomfort.
Totally. You have to see learning as an investment, not a cost. And you have to willingly step into uncomfortable situations, big projects, difficult clients, because that's where the growth happens. Discomfort fuels expansion.
Okay, this has been a whirlwind tour of a really intense philosophy. Let's try to boil it down. What are the absolute key takeaways for someone listening right now thinking, okay, I want to try this?
Right, let's crystallize it. 5 main actionable points, I think.
1. Set 10x targets. Aim way higher than seems reasonable. And crucially, if you miss, don't lower the target, increase your actions.
2. Take massive action. Average is the enemy. It makes you vulnerable. Only massive, relentless action guarantees breaking through obscurity and building real, durable success.
3. Own everything. Take 100% responsibility for everything in your world. No excuses. Nothing happens to you. It happens because of you. That's the mindset shift.
4. Lean into fear and criticism. If people aren't criticizing you, you're probably not doing enough. Fear means you're on the right track. Act on it immediately and see new problems as signs of progress.
And 5. Dominate, don't compete. Focus on doing what others won't, those only practices, to carve out your own space and keep expanding, regardless of what competitors are doing.
Perfect summary. And maybe a final thought to leave people with. The 10x rule basically aims to eliminate luck and chance from the equation.
How so?
By making success purely a result of your level of discipline and the sheer scale of your actions, it puts the control squarely back in your hands. And as Cardone likes to say, especially about dealing with negativity or critics, the best revenge is massive success.
Powerful stuff. Definitely not for the faint of heart, but maybe exactly what's needed to stop playing small.
Yeah.
If you're fired up by this and want more deep dives into game-changing business books, make sure you subscribe to the Business Book Club. We'll be back soon. Now, that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite business book you'd love us to explore? Let us know. We're always up for a good read. And hey, don't keep all these insights to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow book lover or your work buddy who's always looking to level up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.